my dad, Instructor C, and I'm gonna hand it over to him and what we're gonna do today.
All right, today we're going to be talking about the Apprentice STS trainer and the Carbon Cub trainer. Specifically, we're going to be talking about installing the GPS and also the steps of the GPS lock, the calibration, setting the airfield fence, setting the home location, and setting what side the air fence is going to be on. All this can be found in your manual, beginning on page 24 to page 26. Once you get that air fence set, you're clear for takeoff. Don't mind all the paperwork, I just don't want to make sure, don't mind any of the paperwork, we just want to make sure that we don't miss anything and that we're extremely thorough. Again, everything's coming right out of the manual, and we're just basically going to give you a demonstration and show it, and hopefully this makes it a little bit easier for you. The purpose of this video is we're beginners. We've had a lot of hard lessons, and we decided to upgrade our airplanes with the GPS, and we're going to begin with how to install it. G, will you grab your airplane?
Yes, I will.
So on page 24 in your manual, step 1 is installing the GPS. It's extremely simple. The Carbon Cub, you got some screws you have to take off to get the wings off. The Apprentice, just some rubber bands, but the process is identically the same. So once you get the wings off, you're going to install the GPS. On the flight receiver will be labeled A3230A. On the front side towards the prop, on the left front side of that, you're going to see a little port that says GPS. Going to give you a big tip right now. Find the smallest hand you have in your house. My son right here is tiny. I'm a big guy. Our hands couldn't fit in it. We had to use my wife, and she, also had to use some tweezers to get it in. The next thing is, once you get it in, make sure it's in correctly. Make sure all the hooks and the lines line up correct with it. So the top part of the port, you should see some metal, and on the bottom it'll have a couple of lines and like an arrow. That's gonna slide in and it'll click in. If you have it in good and tight, you can pull on that wire and give it a little tug. It's not gonna come out. If it comes out, you had it in incorrect. So after you get that port put in and you use the smallest hands you have with some tweezers, this right here is exactly what it looks like once you get in. You're gonna plug it into that flight receiver, and then you're gonna take all the wires and push them down and make them all look nice and tight, and then set the GPS on its little compartment that's built in the styrofoam for that. After you do that, now you're in the home stretch. Secure it. I recommend using some Gorilla Tape. That's what we did. We've never had a problem with that. That stuff sticks to everything. It's good in everything but hair. Other than that, you could, if you want, you can use super glue that's foam safe, that's appropriate, or hot glue works very good too and is extremely lightweight. After you secure it, reassemble the airplane. And that's what we did up to this step. Now after this step, everything we're doing is for the first time on this aircraft, so you're going to be witnessing it as we did it. But we also already did it on my Apprentice, which is the same process. Back over to you, G.
Now for step 2, we're gonna have to take this party outside. Once you've taken your plane outside, you're gonna turn on your transmitter. Then you're gonna install your flight battery into your plane, and you'll make sure your plane is on level ground. You will know your GPS is searching when the elevator is moving up and down. Once it has found its GPS lock, it will start moving up and down fast, and then it'll move back to its center position. And then you will see your evil eye will be blinking red and blue, and the ailerons will be moving up and down. Once you see that, you will unplug your transmitter battery and your flight battery.
Good job. Let's do it.
We're using the Spectrum DXS, the controller that came with the RTF version, and we're gonna make sure our throttle is completely off, the kill switch is on, and all our trims are centered. And how you will know that is these little notches will make a different noise when it hits it.
go.
Once we have everything overviewed, we're gonna make sure we have our transmitter on. And once you hear that it's on, we will now plug in our flight battery, and then we will set it down on level ground.
It's extremely important to be on level ground at all times. We're gonna leave the bay open because that's not really important right now. What's important is finding the GPS lock.
And now once you know it's finding its GPS, you will see the elevator wag up and down slowly. And now we wait and let it find it.
And there you go,
Okay,
it just
now
found
it's
GPS.
found GPS.
And now you can see the ailerons are going up and down. And you're gonna have a red-blue LED. At this point, we're now good. Go ahead and unplug the airplane and power down the transmitter and wait at least 5 seconds.
And now once you have done that step, you wait 3 to 5 seconds for the calibration. Now over to you, Instructor
Come
C.
back out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now for the calibration part, it's a little complicated, but it's super easy. The very first thing is, before you power this up, the controller must be, the far right aileron must be down and to the left, and your throttle must be down and to the right, almost like it's cross-eyed. You can find this on page 25 in your manual. Let me see if I can get that up nice and close. So that's how that should look when you power on your transmitter. And then once you power on your transmitter, you're gonna take the airplane, plug in your battery, and then let it go through its GPS lock. At that point, you're gonna see these are gonna act a little different because the controls we're doing on the flight transmitter. Then you're gonna hold it at a 90, and then we're gonna flip it twice like this. After you flip it twice like that, now you need to flip it twice like this, and then set it back down on the ground.
Now the controller you're gonna have the joysticks like this, and then once you have them like this and the controller powered on, you're gonna plug in the battery into the plane.
We're good to plug in the battery?
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
We
it's
found
doing it again,
GPS.
it's doing it again.
So we're finding GPS. We just locked GPS.
Now
We go down 90. 1 and 2. 1
1
and 2.
Now we set it back on the ground.
Turn transmitter off.
Transmitter off. Now what?
Airplane off.
Airplane off. It's not one that's calibrated, dude.
I don't know, the manual doesn't say anything about it. You're on.
Plug it in.
It's still recording. Plane will again go through the steps to find GPS.
Okay, we got it.
Okay, we found GPS. If we did this correct, it should pulsate. You plug yours in. All right, so now on this step, we're gonna be setting the Airfield fence to the Airfield, which will be, after it finds GPS, we'll push only your elevator stick up and to the right, and make sure everything's still down and still off.
Okay, now you're able to set it
So
down.
now it should wag its tails if we have it in air fence mode, and it'll give us 3 red, 1 yellow. And now do you see how it's wagging? So now we just set it into air fence mode, which is 400 meters that way, 400 meters that way, and then 400 meters either that way or that way, depending on which way your airfield is. So we're just gonna imagine that we just taxied out. So now the next step is setting the home point and then setting which way we want the airfield. So let's taxi out, power up, and if you go full power, it will not let you take off. It's gonna pulsate because you haven't set the airfield nor the home point. So we just taxied out. And now we need to set the home point. So you're gonna hold the bind button down until it wags its tails or its ailerons. So now we just set the home point. Now the next step is to set the airfield. And if you did this correct, it won't let you give any gas. See that? No gas. So we're gonna say the airfield's on the right. So that means you just hit the stick to the right. And once I do that, you're gonna see the ailerons wag, signifying that it's on the right. You will only see the right aileron. Now, if we were going the other way, I would set it to the left and you would only see the left. So let's go to the right. At this point, you're clear for takeoff. Go get it.
Recording.
All right, turn on your transmitter. This is going to be a demonstration of setting the airfield and actually taking off. So transmitter's on. Let's strap this down. Got to take off into the wind. So first it's going to find GPS, and the aileron's going to move slow, and then it's going to go quick, and it'll stop and go centered. Once that happens, next up is setting the airfield fence. So, and I'm going to show you all the different types of airfield fence. So I just found GPS. So you have all the different types of airfield fences, but we're going to do the virtual airfield fence right here, which will be up and to the right. So on the controller, all you have to do is this, and then you're going to see the aileron wag.
And then we've already got it set to that.
Okay, so to verify that we got it set to that, you'll see 3 red flashes and 1 yellow. Once you see 3 red flashes and 1 yellow, you're set to go set the home point. We're already in the middle of the runway, so to set the home point, all we have to do is hold and hit the bind button, and then watch the wings wag. Home point set. Now the next thing is to set what side the airfield on. So we're going to go the right side of the airplane, so we'll hit that. See the wag? We're set, we're clear for takeoff. Ooh, the wind. Oh, we're in trouble, son.
What do you mean? Cut the power. Or, you know.
A little windy today.
Yeah, not super windy though. It's just the wind's facing kind of on the side of the runway.
Oh, shit. All right, with that being said, as new beginners, we just learned a very valuable lesson. We're just very lucky the plane was durable, but it can only take so much before it does break, and it costs a little bit of money. So use the airfield and don't fly it in anything more than about 8 mile per hour wind. Today, the wind is about 12 miles per hour. And as you see, there was no way to land that and get it lined up because it was being pushed off so bad. So we did the best we could and put it down as soft as possible. Recommendations when you are in that situation, what saved us was the engine kill switch. Stops the prop from spinning, and you're not going to hit anything. If you don't do the engine kill switch, it still would have tried to fire that prop up. So good luck. See you next time. Like and subscribe.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on all notifications. As you can see how we landed a little rough, it also shows you how durable it was. Again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on all notifications.